Hi, Dr. Fred DiDomenico, Elite Coaching. We're here with the Thought Behind the Thought video series. Do we have to explain this again? What's the thought behind the thought? Their thought is what they're saying. The thought behind the thought is what they're thinking. It's their emotions. What's that person actually experiencing? Who's the person that's saying the words? So you have to speak to their internal language. If you want to influence somebody and change the way they think, change the way they act, you have to speak to their internal language, right? So we don't solve the problem, we solve what's creating the problem. That's the thought behind the thought. Okay, we set that frame, we already did it. So here we go. What's today's lesson? 3 obstacles to change. We teach this in our boot camps. It's also huge in our 7 Steps to Mastering Change video series and training. So what are the 3 things? Number 1, something that's inevitable. Something in their past they can't change, and something that's out of their control. What's that mean? See, these are emotional positions. What kind? Emotional positions that create powerlessness, right? Because if something's inevitable, in other words, doesn't matter what I do, this is going to happen anyway. Well, what's an example of that? Someone with high blood pressure. I use that one all the time, right? You know, my dad had high blood pressure, my mother, they grew up with everybody, our family has heart problems. It's genetic. We use that one all the time. That's something that's inevitable. Doc, it's just my genetics. How often do you hear that? What else is inevitable? I've been to 8 different chiropractors, doc, just cracked my back because somebody told them it couldn't be fixed. Who? Their MD. What did their MD say? You have arthritis, right? Arthritis, something that's inevitable. Well, my dad and my mom have arthritis in their back, so I'm going to have arthritis in my back. See, what it does is put them into a powerless state. So as soon as they say the word arthritis, what word do you never use in an ROF? Arthritis, because the minute they hear that word, you're triggering an emotion that puts them into a powerless state. Now, all of these objections are handled through 7 Steps to Mastering Change to get that video series, because it'll change your life. Not only that, it's how you manage you. Not only that, guess what? These are 3 things in your life that could be stopping you from reaching your vision. What do you think is inevitable? What's in your past you can't change? What's out of your control? Right? This is all in the boot camps where we clear your limiting beliefs. Okay, back to this. What's the second one? Something in their past they can't change. What's that mean? Ever since that accident, right? Ever since I had this problem, ever since, something in the past they can't change. I had a doctor tell me he was going to fix me, he didn't. Chiropractors, once you go, you always have to go. I was going and going and going, and I never got better. So that's someone, the back pain, because they're not correct, it just keeps coming back, right? Well, I hear with chiropractors, once you go, you always have to go. Well, that's something in their past they can't change. What about people that may have paid thousands of dollars? That's the decompression age. I paid $5,000 and I still have this problem. Why? So why should I trust you? Something in their past they can't change. I've been to 8 different chiropractors, doc, just cracked my back. I'll be fine. Just do this. My wife couldn't get it this time. That's something in their past they can't change. This is why people don't commit. Why? Because they're powerless to a condition that has control over their lives, right? What's the next one? Something out of their control. What's that? My husband hates chiropractors. He's not going to come to this workshop. Is that something out of their control? How many times do you hear that? They don't show up with their spouse, so what do? Fine, get in the workshop, and then you go through the financial, and what do they say? What a surprise! I have to talk to my spouse. But the reality is she didn't know how to handle it. So what are you sitting there saying as you watch this? Okay, just show me how to friggin' handle it. Is that what you're saying? Right now? Okay? Well, this is 7 Steps to Mastering Change. So let's just go through a couple examples so this isn't a whole hour training. Okay, so how about, my spouse doesn't like chiropractors. Well, first of all, you have to know what the objection is. I go, really? Well, I'm sure there's a reason. I didn't say it was a good reason. I'm sure there's a reason. Can you please share that with me? Well, his dad had, there's 8 million reasons. Well, his dad was an MD and he said, never go to chiropractors. Well, that's one scenario, right? What's another one? Well, he got his neck cracked once and ever since then he's had neck pain. That's different. Could be 8 million things. So you find out what that reason is, And then you'd ask questions, but here's the bottom line. I would say, here's the thing. He's not coming here to meet me. I'm sure, even though he hates chiropractors, he cares about you. See, what I did was I just switched the focus. So he's not coming here because whether or not he likes me. I'm not here for him to like me. However, he does care about you. So now if you look at values, I'd say, Ms. Jones, you believe you have a condition, you're in day one, right? Hopefully you've talked about organs, hopefully you've taken them through all this, you've changed their perspective, get your day one down. So then you can say, Ms. Jones, why does he think you're here? Her initial complaint, because of back pain. After you went through today's experience, why do you think you're here? Because my whole spine and my whole health are weak. I go, do you think he'd want to know about that? Now what about people that say, well, he doesn't care what I do? Well, what you're really saying is he trusts your decisions. If he had a health condition that was making his body weak, you would trust his decision, wouldn't you? Now if she says no, that's a whole other issue. But if she says yes, then you say, but wouldn't you care to know about it? Can health conditions affect relationships and the financial stability of the family? And she'd say yes. I go, do you believe you have a condition that's breaking her body down? She'd say yes. So if you allow that, see, that's a responsibility question, step 2. If you allow that to get worse, as the leader of the family, the father and the husband, does he feel the responsibility to protect the financial security of the family and the house? Yeah, definitely. Then would he want to know anything that threatens that? Yes, he would. And you're his wife. He cares about you, number one. Is that a good enough reason for you to bring him? Now see what I did was I took the frame off me, the focus off me, put it on her, talked about their values. This is all 7 Steps to Mastering Change, which is why you gotta get that video series. But why would she not become a patient? Something out of her control. My husband hates chiropractors. He didn't know how to handle it. He didn't know how to reframe it. Now there's another subluxated person out in the world. Worse than that, they may think chiropractic is about back pain. Have we done enough of that yet? That's why we're doing the thought behind the thought, right? Something in their past they can't change. Well, my MD said I'm just gonna have arthritis. Great, why did he say that? Because my dad has it. Well, actually, I would say a lot of things pass down in families, but they're not genetic. So when you look at that x-ray, is your spine in alignment or out of alignment? It's out of alignment. How's it affecting? When you look at that, what's that mean to you? When you look at the spinal cord, what's that mean to you? And you look at your organs and 18 different health problems. When you look at that x-ray, what's that mean? It means my whole body's weak. So if you allow the core strength of your body to continue to get weak, and arthritis just means your body's breaking down, right? So if you allow this to continue to break down, what's that mean to you for your life and your health? It sucks. Now, we have the most advanced system of spinal correction ever that actually reverses conditions like this, but you know what? I've never seen an MD in any one of those classes. Isn't that fascinating? I've never seen one medical doctor. What's the probability, if less than 5% of all the doctors around the world study this, what's the probability that your medical doctor actually knows this? And there's no medical doctors in these courses. What do you think the probability he understands that? Not good, but do you trust him? Yeah. So do you want me to call him? Because he'd probably refer you out. And if he knew we did, he'd probably refer you straight to us. So do you want me to call him, or can you just make that decision on your own? And I'd go like this. I make it on my own? Okay. Just come to the workshop and bring your wife. You know what I mean? So these are the things of questions of how you're shifting people's mindset, but that's something in the past they can't change where they're powerless. So how do you take a powerless person and give them power? They got to take responsibility. You have to reframe it. So the thought behind the thought lesson of the day, even though I've jumped around, is you have to hear that something is inevitable, right? Something that's out of their control, something in the past they can't change. Because it's a fact in their past, they think this condition always will be. See, that's no responsibility. You can have events in your life and you can change them. Hey, I've had disc problems that I don't have anymore. right? It's in my past, but I'm not that person anymore. Right? Many people got into chiropractic because you had an injury, but you're not that person anymore. But some people in general public, they don't know what you know. So you have to sense that powerless emotion, and you have to learn how to help people take responsibility, interrupt that pattern, see it differently, handle that objection. You can take a completely powerless person that normally would walk out, and you can create a lifetime patient. So this week's lesson on Thought Behind the Thought. 3 obstacles of change that create powerless emotion. 1, something that's inevitable. Number 2, something in their past they can't change. Number 3, something that's out of their control. So guess what? Look at those things in your life. And if you want to get through them to get to the next level, give me a call. Peace. Next lesson coming next week.